You are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage. Born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
Focus. I'm going to dive down into a journey of a typical solo queue league player. 6 PM. You just got out of your day job or you just finished your homework. What's the first thing you do? Load up some League of Legends, of course. It's time for some good old solo queue. And hopefully, time to win some games. You're one game away from your diamond promos. Hey, you might get diamond this season. You're prompted by the roaring, crisp sound of doom. A game has been found. Time for you to press accept. You are then thrown into Champ Select with 4 complete randoms. You were fortunate enough to get your role and avoid the absolute disaster of being auto-filled. You hear the ping of your league chat box, and to your dismay, your jungle is auto-filled. No one is willing to stop, but maybe you might get lucky and someone might dodge. I mean, that already happens basically every lobby, but not this time. You get into game and your auto-filled jungler is first time in Gwen. So you make your way to your lane. In this scenario, you are a top laner, and you are also playing Sion. In Champ Select, you were first pick, so you got counted pretty much instantly, and now you're laning against a Ghost Flash Darius. But hey, I guess you can play passive for the laning phase, right? So you're farming under your tower, and just hugging it since you can't really do anything right now. But your jungler, he thought doing top scuttle was the play. You basically have no prio, and your mid laner is Kassadin. So not too surprisingly, she's on scuttle and she gets counted by the enemy Warwick. And then Darius goes down and Gwen dies. You then get spammed by question marks. Supposedly the enemy is missing. Gwen then exclaims, "Sion, why the... Didn't you help me, you dirty?" I hope you get... And this was the condition of your lane. You then continuously hear, "An ally has been slain." Your bot lane appears to be dying and they can't stop. Kassadin then types in open and leaves the game.
A summoner has disconnected.
Draven has 10 kills by 5 minutes. What I just described to you was not an exaggeration. None of these players were caricatures. In fact, I'll go as far as saying this is a social norm within the League of Legends community. I know you guys, and I personally, have experienced these absurd scenarios. Degenerative behaviour is part or parcel of being a League of Legends player, more specifically a solo queue player. However, this community did not come into existence with just attribute. You know, we didn't come out of our mother's womb spamming FF. This community was manifested and curated from the essence of being a human. Human nature, to be precise. Our thoughts and our feelings is fundamental for our characteristics. We are not naturally toxic shitheads, well, some of us were, but I digress. We were indoctrinated within the culture and environment we were raised in. Culturally induced behavioural patterns, such as the way we communicate in terms of language, speech patterns, the style of the way we talk, our humour, it all adds up, almost like a mathematical equation, to make us. So what is the League of Legends culture? Toxicity is the norm. We see our favourite streamers do it, our favourite YouTubers do it. Humans are social creatures by nature. We are easily influenced by our peers to adapt certain behaviours, no matter how irrational they may seem. It's why cancel culture is so prominent in our generation. The truth is, the majority of us are followers, not leaders. This has a cascading effect, almost viral effect, and there's no stopping it. Think of it like a tsunami. It's overwhelming, it's irreversible, and it's unavoidable. But it's not all the streamers' fault. I'd say yes, they do play a large role, but not the biggest role. The biggest contributor to our culture is the one who supplies, the one who created, the main source, Riot Games. And not just Riot Games, but the insurmountable Chinese monopoly that towers Riot in comparison, almost like you're witnessing a solar eclipse, Tencent. I'll give credit where credit is due. Riot Games has perfected the formula of addiction. They know exactly how the human mind works, and they know exactly how to abuse our receptors. There's a reason why this game is the most played game in the world. It has the most established esports, the biggest fan bases. They have literally changed our brain to conform and profit the game, and we are none the wiser. Let's cover competition. We hide our addiction under the guise that we're being competitive. Yes, little Timmy over there wants to be
the very best, like no one ever was.
However, this is far from reality. Admittedly, competitive nature is given to us by nature in certain aspects, but it's also artificially created by Riot. It's the intrinsic and extrinsic motivation that League of Legends encourages. I would say a large base of ranked players do have extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is when you are working towards an end goal for a reward that could be monetary or to simply show off because our egos are too big. Many League players have a goal rank in mind. It could be gold, platinum, diamond, challenger, whatever rank. We all want to reach a certain rank at the end. That's our extrinsic motivation. However, extrinsic motivation is short lasting. Once we reach our goals, we just want to stop. Preston University has recently conducted a psychological study to see how extrinsic motivation worked as a primary motivator. They told the competitors that whoever reduced their energy consumption the most won a prize. The extrinsic motivation here was the prize. And predictably, their energy consumption went down during the competition. But as soon as the contest ended, the energy consumption went back up. In fact, the consumption went up higher than it was before the contest. This is why League of Legends wants a player base with intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is when you are driven by passion, the love, you want to do it. Why you want to do it? Because you want to be the very best, no matter how unrealistic it is. And if you think about it, this can be seen as an addiction. But how does League pull you down into this rabbit hole? By manipulating your brain during the extrinsic motivation period. It's the flashing lights, the big sounds, the interesting artwork, the esports fame, the glory, the money. It's all set for you to stay longer and invest more time. It almost sounds like a casino, right? I'm going to go into conspiracy territory now. I believe there is a short-term algorithm when it comes to soloq. League of Legends wants you to lose, to prolong the climb to your rank, to have more time to convert you to an intrinsic mindset. Riot wants you to be in flow state when you are playing their game. Flow state is the mental state in which a person performing the activity is fully immersed in a feeling of energized focus, full involvement, no distraction, and they are enjoying the process of every ounce of the activity. But where is the enjoyment coming from? It's the dopamine overload your brain is producing, the feel-good chemical messenger. The emotional regions of your brain are constantly activated during the tryhard sessions of your League play. The anterior cingulate cortex, the insular cingulate cortex, they are constantly activated, which generates a feeling of excitement and enjoyment. But what about losing Q? What's the point of that? Or strap up buddy, I'm gonna drop a boatload of knowledge they don't want you to know. We all know about flow state, but have you ever heard of Fiero? Fiero is the feeling you have when you get shoved down to the abyss of adversity. At this point you are mentally challenged and you are drained, but then you eventually bounce back and then you start succeeding. And that's when the Fiero kicks in. The high you feel when you get put into a losing streak and then you fight back and you go above and beyond is actually proven to have a greater effect than being in flow state. And we all know how flow state feels like. So imagine that being amplified, you're gonna feel really good about yourself. Which is why in the short term, I believe losing streaks are planned within the Riot's algorithm. They put you in supposed losing queue so you are statistically meant to lose to plan the artificial adversity. They want you to experience Fiero. It perfectly fits their agenda for you to stay in the game. Why do you think people still play it even after reaching their rank goals? They technically just reached their goals, right? And from previous research we know extrinsic motivation doesn't stay for too long. Well, they want that high again. They want to experience the Fiero, they want to experience the flow state, they keep chasing the extrinsic motivation whether they like it or not. Why do you think players report that they don't feel anything when they are winning or losing anymore? Because they jack their brains up. The dopamine receptors have been overloaded. It's comparable to someone that's addicted to meth or likes jacking a ding-a-ling 5 times a day. They have fallen into the cogwheel that Riot has enticed them in, and now League of Legends has them by the balls. Call me insane, but I think Tencent, the company that owns Riot along with other popular titles, have a large department based on how to manipulate us neurologically. I believe they have neurologists around the clock constantly researching this. It's not only League, you experience this on a daily basis on social media. You are watching this video on YouTube because they thought it would keep you on their platform for longer. You're going to like this video so it gets recommended to other people to stay for longer. You're going to subscribe to get more content that is similar so you stay on the platform for longer. In the end of the day, we are all trapped and controlled by the top 1% that have the knowledge far beyond our understanding. We thought we were using products and services, but at the end of the day, we are the product.
We shall prevail. We have eternity.